Iran initially denied having shot that plane down. Leaders now say that a missile fired by mistake brought down the Ukrainian passenger jet, that plane on Wednesday, killing 176 people who were on board it.
The United States, Canada, and other countries had already reached that conclusion. The plane crashed just a few hours after Iran launched missiles at military bases in Iraq housing U.S. troops.
Also, we want to show you some dramatic new video. It shows the moment that the plane hit the ground.
It was taken from a surveillance camera on a building not far from Tehran's international airport. There's the bright light from the fire. As the plane gets closer, then everything goes white. As the plane hits the ground and explodes, you can see the flaming debris, hundreds of pieces of the plane strewn across the area.
The U.S. Navy says a Russian warship aggressively approached an American destroyer in the North Arabian Sea. Russia's defense ministry is denying that, but we have video of the incident. You can decide for yourself. That is the Russian ship behind the U.S. Navy vessel. It came as close as 55 meters, and that is very close for vessels that large.
North Korea's Foreign Ministry advisor Kim Kye-kwan has delivered a hardline statement saying dialogue with the United States can resume only when Washington fully accepts Pyongyang's demands. The North's state-run Korean Central News Agency reported Saturday that Kim stressed Pyongyang would never engage in a negotiation to exchange its core nuclear facility for partial sanctions relief, as it did during last year's no-deal Hanoi summit. He said dialogue can restart only if the U.S. agrees on the issues raised by Pyongyang, but added Washington is apparently not ready to do so. The official also spoke of President Trump's personal birthday letter to Kim Jong-un. While he called the relationship between the two leaders, quote, not bad, he said it would be absent-minded to think such personal relations could bring North Korea back to the negotiating table.
Tonight, horror at a Mexican elementary school with stunned parents experiencing the same kind of gun violence we routinely see here at home. Authorities there claiming an 11-year-old sixth grader fatally shot his teacher and wounded 5 other students and a gym teacher before killing himself. The governor of the state of Coahuila telling reporters the student told a classmate, quote, "Today is the day," before asking permission to go to the restroom. He allegedly came out of the bathroom 15 minutes later, brandishing 2 guns, firing away. Then the all-too-familiar images, the wounded carried away on stretchers, ambulances racing away, shaken parents reuniting with children.
One of the longest-serving rulers in the Middle East, Qaboos bin Said had governed Oman since 1970, after overthrowing his father in a bloodless coup. While he retained political control of the small absolute monarchy, over the decades that followed, bin Said invested heavily in Oman's infrastructure and oversaw a swath of modernizing reforms, creating a parliament and offering limited political freedoms.
The development that life in Oman has experienced, as well as the useful changes in our society, have made it necessary for us to develop the legal and judicial systems and modernize them to meet modern-day life.
Apple is now automatically scanning its users' photos to tackle child abuse. The company's director of global privacy made the revelation during a conference.
We are utilizing some technologies to help screen for child sexual abuse material.
According to Apple's website, image matching technology is now being used to detect abusive images, but so far the company has not explained exactly how the process works. And questions have been raised over how data encryption on the iCloud storage system is being bypassed. The tech giant made a change to its privacy policy last year, which warned that it could scan images for child abuse material.
We may also use your personal information for account and network security purposes, including in order to protect our services for the benefit of all our users and pre-screening and scanning uploaded content for potentially illegal content, including child sexual exploitation material.
Now, over in Taiwan, the island's presidential and parliamentary elections were held on Saturday. The elections are being closely watched around the world as the future democracy of the self-ruled island will be decided depending on the next leader's views towards China. Incumbent President Tsai Ing-wen of the Democratic Progressive Party, who is seen as a frontrunner, favors a cautious approach towards Beijing. Her main rival, Han Kuo-wi of the Nationalist Party, is pushing for closer ties with China. The Chinese government regards Taiwan as a breakaway province and has been threatening to take control of the island, but the Taiwanese people have increasingly been asserting an independent identity. Votes are now being counted, with Taiwan's election commission saying it expects the first results to filter in soon.
Over 50 years ago, American sprinters Tommy Smith and John Carlos famously did the Black Power salute at the Olympic Games in 1968, bringing attention to the then plight of African Americans in the U.S. In recent years, there has been a rise in political activism by athletes, most notably Colin Kaepernick and Megan Rapinoe. Last August, 2 U.S. athletes were placed on probation for 12 months for incidents at the Pan American Games in Peru, considered by some to be a warning ahead of the Tokyo Olympics. International Olympic Committee President Thomas Bach said previous protests had no effect, and the mission of the Olympic Games is to unite and not to divide. Bach cautioned athletes.
Residents of Mexico City are looking toward a plastic-free future. The city has announced a ban on single-use plastic bags. The new law is largely seen as an important step to curb back pollution. Businesses that don't comply with the mandate could face fines or other penalties. Leaders within the plastic industry, however, say the new measure is too extreme and could result in tens of thousands of jobs lost.
The fine is absurd. There are serious crimes that one could commit that carry a lesser penalty than having a plastic bag, because that bag could cost you more than $8,800. Also, the city doesn't even have the infrastructure to enforce this.
Well, here in India, less than 10 days into his tenure as India's new Army Chief, General Naravane has created a huge buzz with his latest remarks on Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. The new Army Chief has said that the Army is ready to reclaim POK if so ordered by Parliament. The 28th Indian Army Chief pointed out that there's a parliamentary resolution that all of Jammu and Kashmir, including the region occupied by Pakistan, belongs to India.